Hello warm-blooded folks, welcome! Today we'll be making a Pulp Impressionist Cthulhu sculpture, but more on that later. Let's talk about why I'm making this thing. So I'm participating in a children's cancer fundraising event called Crafting for Hope, hosted by PKT Crafts. And so he's inviting a bunch of artists, kind of the hobby and crafting space, people who do miniatures, who do diorama, and get them to make something to raise awareness for this charity, and donate. And I'm trying to enter in the freeform category, so I'm gonna be doing a sculpture. Alright, I'm just gonna mount my armature onto a base using epoxy putty, but these aren't like the epoxy putty I'm using for sculpting. This epoxy is fast curing and pretty dangerous, right? It's what plumbers use to fix like broken ceramics and sinks and stuff like that, or to stop leaking pipes. So it cures in like a minute, so you want to be very careful when using this. Alright, we're ready to start slapping on some meat into this thing. Now, Crafting for Hope ended months ago, and I, unlike almost everyone else, did not get my video out there in time. I did submit a photo of my project in time though, but no videos. So this is what I'm working on now. I took my sweet time on it because at the same time while I was editing the video, I was also working on my first Kickstarter project for my very ambitious 130 page plus solo RPG zine, Tales of Chthonic Waters. If you're interested in that, please check out the Kickstarter. You can't back in anymore, but it will be available for the general public eventually. Keep an eye out. Using some green stuff, I'm gonna make special features that needs to be lightweight, thin, and fast curing. So we're gonna make some intestines and guts. Here are some tentacles, a very important defining feature of all octopus face are those tentacles. I tried to use rollers for green stuff for this, but it didn't work out too well for what I had in mind. In the end, I just did it the old-fashioned way by rolling thin noodles with my hands. Just a quick tip, when you're working with epoxy putty, you might want to get some petroleum jelly on your hands, so Vaseline will do just fine. This insulates your skin from the tackiness of the putty, and kind of prevents it from curing on your skin, which is gonna be a nice quality of life thing that you definitely probably should do. Keep that in mind. Yeah, it's been a great joy participating in Crafting for Hope. I really appreciated getting to know everyone else who is into this crafting stuff. Even though I don't think I did a very good job on this piece, it was worth it to have found a community of artists, because being an artist is lonely, and we shouldn't have to be lonely. I'm still waiting for local artists where I live to jump out of the woodwork and join me on collabs, but they're all hiding from me. I don't know where they are, but I'll try to find them. Get some cool local projects done. Some of you might be wondering what Pulp Impressionism is. Pulp Impressionism was coined by Flanders, aka Shapecarver, a artist who is an amazing sculptor, and he pioneered kind of this technique that he called Pulp Impressionism, where you're creating impressionist sculptures of pop culture icons, you know, things like Hellboy, things like Cthulhu, things like Godzilla. He also does kit bashing, but unlike kit bashing with say like model kits, he kit bash parts and pieces from model kits and from random objects together with his pulp impressionist sculptures, right? It's all about capturing the proportions, the vibe, the energy of a piece, and not caring about like really fine details or realism. So Impressionism. And this is really great because I don't really have the patience to do a lot of those fine detail work. A lot of times I don't have the energy for it a lot of times, so I find that this form of art is really good for me, mental health wise. And if I do any kind of really refined work, my preference personally is to do a really good job on that, and then try to cast it so I can duplicate it. I'm not really cut out, in my opinion, for making original one-offs on a consistent basis. You need more energy for that, and that's not me. I suspect that I might have undiagnosed something, probably ADHD, and if I ever get some help for that, I will probably be able to be more of a traditional artist and just produce one-offs on a consistent basis. But you know, with my current way of doing things, with my current stuff that can be duplicated is better for me, because I don't have to spend as much energy doing the same thing over and over again. That gets boring, and you know, if you have ADHD and you're getting bored at all, you're not going to be able to finish anything. So that's been a struggle for me for a while. There are all these amazing sculptors on Etsy who are just knocking out all these figures, and I'm like, why can't I do something like that? You know, if I could, it would help a lot for making a living. So I'm trying to figure out how to make resin cast toys of a consistent quality on a consistent basis, for precisely that reason, right? Because it's more my speed, my jam. Making original sculptures that are really expensive, like you can sell it for a really high cost because they're one-offs, but it's not worth it for me to do that, because not everyone can afford something that expensive, and it takes a lot for me to make one, let alone make 5 or whatever, right? So making one original sculpture and then casting it is probably better for me. So that's what I'm looking into in terms of what I want to do with my sculpting career. And here we have it. Cthulhu is ready to be summoned.